Shipping has been described as perhaps the safest means of transportation in the world today. And there is one major reason why this is the case. The shipping industry is more heavily regulated by most of the other industries, with the umbrella global agency being the International Maritime Organization, and here in Nigeria, the apex regulator being the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, working jointly to adopt and implement internationally acceptable safety standards for seafaring and seaborne trade in general. It is on that note that we welcome you to yet another exciting and educative episode of your favorite nautical authoritative, NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, brought to you, of course, by NIMASA. My name is Ubong Essien, and it's always a pleasure to be your guide on this voyage.
You are watching NIMASA This Week.
NIMASA This Week.
NIMASA This Week.
The voice of maritime.
The voice of maritime.
The voice of maritime.
The voice of maritime in Nigeria.
I'll encourage you to watch NIMASA This Week.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
Welcome back. It's still NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime. And on today's episode of the program, we start as always with the DJ's Diary. Let's find out what Dr. Bashir Jamo has been doing in recent times in the Nigerian maritime domain. There's also Know Your Conventions. What are the rules of the road guiding the business of international shipping and seafaring? Plus our other regulars. So if you're ready, it's anchors away.
Our world-class Maritime Experience Center is now live, announcing Maritime Stakeholders Experience Contact Center, MSECC, where you'll get simple, fast, and tailored solutions to all your maritime challenges on maritime safety, maritime labor, marine pollution, search and rescue, cabotage issues, ship registration, training and certification, and other maritime-related issues. Contact us via the following channels: 23401-630-9590. Email us at contactcenter@nimasa.gov.ng, info@nimasa.gov.ng. Chat with us www.nimasa.gov.ng and on Facebook at NIMASA Official. Let's resolve all your maritime related issues. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Dr. Bashir Jamo, has stated that both NIMASA and the Nigerian Ports Authority are set to complete the operationalization of the NIMASA Modular Floating Dockyard. The NIMASA helmsman made this known during a courtesy visit to the Managing Director of the Nigerian Port Authority, Mr. Mohammed Bello Koko, in Lagos. Jamo noted that NIMASA has completed the ongoing discussions with the managing partners and the co-partner MPA to provide the Continental Shipyard for the anchoring of the dockyard. This is meant to refute reports about the floating dock that claimed it had continued to deteriorate due to complete neglect. Jamo explained that the floating dock needs to go through an installation process before it starts to fully function, as it is not but ready to use.
Floating dock is not a car that you go to the showroom, pay for the car, and you just take key and you start going. It's just like your AC now. When you buy AC, you have to install the AC. You install the AC, you have pipe, you have cables, you have wire, you have somebody to. At the end of the day, you need electricity. If you finish all these things and you don't have electricity, how can you have air conditioner working? If you have floating dock and you don't have a place to keep that floating dock, what can you do? Since we brought the floating dock, there is no space for us to keep.
The NIMASA DG explained that 3 separate facilities would be needed: a shipyard that will warehouse the modular floating dock, a foundry that would convert the wrecks currently being removed all over the country into reusable materials, and a dockyard which will use the recycled materials from the foundry to manufacture new vessels. He noted that the facilities would give birth to a 3-conglomerate business involving ship repairs, building, and recycling.
I think Nigerians will appreciate the delay more now, because we have a kind of 3-conglomerate business now: the ship repairs, the ship building, as well as ship recycling, instead of the issue of ship repairs only. So the issue of the foundry, the issue of the modular floating dock now is giving birth to 3 additional major industry: the ship recycling industry and the shipbuilding industry. And this will now transform the issue of the CBFF disbursement that we have been looking forward into. I think what we need to do, anything that is worth doing is worth doing well. The way we look at it, in the last 6 months, we will have docked that modular floating dock. But there is no point to take such huge investment in a hurry and fix it in places where it's not properly, managed. You have heard him about the issues of the gangways and other things, reactivating the infrastructures and other things like that. When you put that gigantic, edifice, at the end of the day, water can slip it away and can cause a lot of damages, and including lives. Now that we have reached this stage, we have ICRC certificate of no objection. We have already forwarded everything to the Federal Ministry of Transportation. I believe they are working hard. Within the next couple of weeks, we are going to present the entire submission for the floating dock to the Federal Executive Council for approval. All we need to do is to get the assurances of reactivations of those infrastructure. Then we will now have a temporary imported equipment that can now place the dolphins, and then we will now key in the modular floating dock, taking into consideration the temporary importations of the equipment. Most of the equipment we are going to use to place the dolphins, we don't have it in Nigeria. We have to make it temporary importations from Netherlands. So we have to shift it. It has to arrive, cleared, and then we commence the work. All in all, we believe in the next couple of months we'll be able to utilize it. We are not sleeping. As you can see, and you can hear from the MD, the committees are here. So many reports has been produced. At the end of the day, I think the industry will come out stronger with a standard policy intervention by the government in terms of national policy on shipbuilding, ship repairs, as well as infrastructure. So this will now boost the industry, not only internally but internationally. We are targeting not only Nigeria but also within the Gulf of Guinea, and also the international ships that are coming. They will have to come and start using our own. In addition to that, we will now conserve our own foreign exchange that we used to go to Ghana, Togo, or any other smaller country, African countries, to repair our vessels. And those that are coming from a different part of the world, we will have a place where we can be able to repair it, in addition to what we have in Nigeria.
In the same vein, the managing director of the Nigerian Port Authority, explained the agency's role as regards the modular floating docks and asserted that there will be a synergy between teams from the MPA and NIMASA, as the two sister agencies will work together to properly disperse information about the floating docks and keep the people abreast of information regarding maritime affairs.
The floating dock is not just something you just put from one location to the other. You have to plan how it operates. And the only viable location actually is owned by Nigerian Ports Authority. That place has not been in use for some time, so all the physical infrastructure need to be worked on. So we need to work on the dolphin. The existing dolphin there is not meant for that floating dock, so that needs to be worked on. The gangway and so on and so forth needs to be worked on also. Then there are a lot of warehouses in that location that need to be worked on. We need to re-equip and all that. But what is most important is for us to bring the floating dock to where it is. There'll be a foundry where some of the scrap from wreckages that NIMASA is bringing out from the seaside or the quays to also be processed and recycled. Now what it simply means is that we are not necessarily going back to the drawing board. It just means that we are now looking at it from a different angle. The good news is that NIMASA already has a certificate of no objection from ICRC. What it means is that we already have an interim approval. All we need to do is just to sort this out properly, and then it goes to FEC for approval. So I want to, reassure Nigerians that we are going to make sure and do everything that we need to do to ensure that that floating dock comes to where it should be. It will also be put to proper use, and it should start, generating revenue, and also there will be employment. And we give that commitment. NIMASA is a sister agency. We've been working closely with them, and what they are proposing is a very good idea. It's in the interest of Nigeria and Nigerians, and we'll ensure that that is done as quickly as possible.
Dr. Jamo mentioned that he, as well as others, would be glad to see the modular floating dock project completed and commissioned, as it would be of great benefit to the maritime industry in Nigeria. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Dr. Bashir Jamo, has stated that the agency will continue to work with critical institutions and professional bodies to reposition Nigeria's maritime industry. The DG made this known during a courtesy visit from a branch of the Nigerian Bar Association at the agency's headquarters in Lagos. Jamo emphasized that working with the association and the judiciary was sacrosanct to the agency, given the intricate and urgent nature of maritime matters and the ensuing need for prompt resolutions. Dr. Jamo added that the suppression of piracy and other maritime crimes SPOMO Act 2019 has come to stay and represents a success for Nigeria as a whole in the nation's determination to reclaim a rightful position in the Committee of Maritime Nations. On his part, the chairman of the MBA branch in the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Deja Monday, praised the Jamo-led administration for all the agency's achievements and emphasized the need for continuous collaboration with relevant stakeholders to advance the nation's maritime industry.
Hello viewers, welcome once again to the Know Your Convention segment on NIMASA This Week, the Voice of Maritime. Today we'll be bringing you the concluding part on maritime security. There have been reports of reduced piracy incidents in the Gulf of Guinea and armed robbery incidents in Nigerian maritime zones. What are the future plans for the Deep Blue in sustaining this feat?
So there are plans for the Deep Blue, because the Deep Blue actually works in conjunction with the statutory bodies. And when incidents like that are seen, risky behaviors are seen, deviations and dark activities, they are reported accordingly. And once they are reported, the statutory bodies, particularly the command support, by command support is that it is the Navy and other security outfits support the Navy in intervening immediately. And what the DW has done is to give them on-time information, real-life intelligence report of what is happening in our maritime domain. And once that is done, immediately they go into action. And in the past 90 days, it is interesting to note that they've arrested 20 vessels involved in dark activities. And these are one of the key things the Deep Blue project wants to actually address in partnership with the statutory bodies. We have in recent time mapped out additional deployment into some operational sites, such as the Bonny Terminal, such as the Brass Terminal, such as the Fagados Terminal, to ensure prompt intervention when these incidents are reported. And also there are also some training plans. 340 maritime security unit personnel are going to be trained from 1st of September. There is also a training year marked for next week for the special mission aircraft pilots that is taking place in Austria. And there is another one for the special mission helicopter pilots that is going to also take place in Switzerland and next month 24th. So all in preparation for full deployment into the operational sites for quick intervention.
Okay, Poela, since you've been providing us with the legal aspects, what penalties do we have under the SPOMO Act to deter people from committing these crimes?
The SPOMO Act gives quite stiff penalties. For piracy, it goes up to about 50 million naira, 10 years imprisonment. So you have, for offenses under the SPOMO Act, you have 15 years imprisonment and 50 million and restitution. And so you have, for some other offenses, you have 75 million naira, 10 years imprisonment, 5 years imprisonment. So I must commend the SPOMO Act for that. The penalties under the SPOMO Act are quite stiff.
And yes,
stiff enough for, yes, upon conviction, when found guilty of any of these offenses, they're quite stiff because, I mean, 10 years imprisonment, 50 million naira and 50 million naira. So it's not and or. So it doesn't give you that option. It's actually all. So it goes actually the full length.
Both fines and
imprisonment, restitution. In fact, it's, in some cases, it actually goes up to forfeiture of the vessel, of the ship. Yeah, so I must commend the SPOMO Act. It's quite stiff on that.
And it doesn't also exclude organizations, companies, or individuals that are connected in any way.
Even companies are connected
to it, yes.
They are also fined. In fact, their fines are even higher than those involved.
Individuals.
Yes. So you have the aiding and abetting, obstruction of justice. So if it's 75 million naira, if you have an information of a crime or of a piracy attack or any maritime offenses, and you don't report it. I think the only people who are excluded are medical doctors. But, I mean, it's to an extent. So it's very stiff, even on, if as much as obstructing the reporting system or obstructing the justice in terms of the SPOMO Act. The fines are quite stiff.
I want to believe there is some sort of collaboration or synergy between prosecution team and actually the enforcement officers under the Deep Blue. Can you just give us an idea of how this works? So when the investigation team suspects a vessel and goes on board of a crime, how does the prosecution come in? I'm talking on the level of implementation of the SPOMO Act now.
Under the SPOMO Act, the agency is the lead agency, you know, saddled with the responsibility. However,
so when you say the lead agency, that means the other relevant
agencies, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is there, the Nigerian Navy is there. Permit me to say that the agency works very closely with the Nigerian Navy and with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in ensuring this. And I mean, it made news when we got conviction.
Oh, so we have secured conviction.
Yes, we've secured conviction under the SPOMO Act. I'm very aware of a couple, but yes, we have secured convictions under the SPOMO Act. Yes, we have.
Interesting. Director Deep Blue, just to close on your part, what's the future of the Deep Blue?
The future of Deep Blue is bright because the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, talking about the Director General and his executive team, are committed to the sustainability of Deep Blue. As we speak now, the sustainability plan is already being processed, and we know that once the current contract approved by the Federal Executive Council, which is the government furnished site, equipment and personnel contract that provides logistics for the sustainability of Deep Blue elapses, we expect that the current sustainability plan takes off from there. So we have a very, very strong plan. The agency has a very strong plan, and in collaboration with the coordinating committees to ensure the Deep Blue is sustained, and also extend the asset of the Deep Blue to be able to cover the spread of our maritime domain.
Speaking about extension, I know Nigerian Maritime Zone first. What about to the Gulf of Guinea? You know, the Gulf of Guinea used to be rid of stories of piracy, kidnapping and all that, but to an extent I think that has dropped. So in terms of extension, how do we extend this to the Gulf of Guinea area beyond Nigeria's maritime zones?
Of course, there is a strong collaboration in the Gulf of Guinea.
Okay.
The intelligence provided to the statutory bodies here for the intervention teams, the same is also provided to other Gulf of Guinea zones that operate. For instance, recently there was a 3 million capacity tanker that the Nigerian Navy intercepted. And though they behaved very funny by shouting Mayday, indicating that it was a piracy in spite of the Navy trying to convince them that, look, we are Nigerian Navy. You have put up a suspected behavior, so we want to find out. They insisted and now had to open up. They started going. They refused to be boarded. And finally, when they were going out of the Nigerian waters, what the Navy did was to highlight all other agencies, and they were intercepted.
In the Gulf of Guinea?
Yes, they were still arrested.
So there's a sort of collaboration between Nigerian government and other in the Gulf of Guinea. Interesting. So that will lead to
there is no escape route.
Okay. So that leads to safe and secure waterways in the Gulf of Guinea.
Yes, and that is why Nigeria has also been delisted from the list of pirates countries. So that is also a very good news. And it's something everybody in Nigeria, including the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, wants to sustain and ensure that we are continuously kept out of the piracy list.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming to this segment, Mr. Otonye Obom, and also Poela Doyetiemo. It was nice having you on this segment.
Thank you very much.
Well, viewers, that is all we can take on this segment. Until next time, stay tuned as NIMASA This Week, the Voice of Maritime continues.
Introducing the NIMASA Distress Response Call Lines for all maritime stakeholders, ship owners, seafarers, ship captains. Whatever your challenge or distress in the Nigerian maritime domain, please call 0803 0685 167, 0708 0005 956, 0700 0700 010. If you can't reach us on these lines, please call 0700 0700 020, 0700 0700 030. Also via VHF Radio Channel 16. Call and NIMASA will respond.
Welcome back. It's still NIMASA This Week, the Voice of Maritime, and it's time to look at some of those nautical conversations making the rounds online. can continue the conversation with the DG. He is at Jamo Bashiru talking about Twitter. Then we have our at NIMASA official handles. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. However, when it comes to doing maritime business, by now you know we will always tell you that the NIMASA official website has to be your first port of call, because there you will find all the information that you need, the relevant rules, up-to-date policies to guide your quest, to guide your activities in this very highly regulated maritime industry. Thank you for watching today's episode of NIMASA This Week, the Voice of Maritime, and we hope that you found the program enlightening and useful enough to keep you excited about the economic prospects inherent in Nigeria as a coastal state. As we close, I leave you with these oceanic thoughts of Walt Whitman. To me, the sea is a continual miracle. The fishes that swim, the rocks, the motion of the waves, the ships with the men in them. What stranger miracles are there? Indeed, the sea is a miracle, and it's our duty to make that miracle work for us in Nigeria, being a coastal state, because we have an entire expanse of the sea from Lagos straight down to Calabar. So till I see you next time, my name remains Ubong Essien, and I'm asking you as always to stay on course. Bye-bye.